The impossibility of reality is only our mind's inability to tell a story that makes sense. When you tell a new story that I am who I desire to be, the impossible becomes possible. Because when you realize your physical self is not the writer, but it's the person who chooses the end as the conscious part of who you are. So, this is Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. I am your host. And today I'm just going to explain reality creation from telling a new story and why we sometimes believe that three-dimensional reality has to be mitigated and fixed in terms of creating a new story. Like this can't be happening if this is still happening, that kind of thing. So, where did I leave my blocks? Anyway, you are always shifting reality. It doesn't matter from how many years ago you've had a desire or an intention. It doesn't matter how many years you think it's going to take. It can be 20 backwards, 20 forward. It doesn't matter. You can pick any number you like, change what I said, and say it won't matter just as much. Why? You are always shifting. I think Bashar is the one that says, every second you are shifting individual frames of reality to create the illusion of movement. Now, those frames of reality are remarkably similar to each other, and you can see it if you just be conscious, unaware of what it is you're doing. If you just take your finger from here to there over 1 second, you can see the individual points of where my finger goes, where it goes, where it goes, where it goes. The frame is similar, but you cannot say that this frame and this frame are exactly the same. They are very, very, very different, because for the one part, my finger is here and my finger is here. It is exactly different. Exactly different. Right? It is absolutely and utterly different. That's how reality rearranges itself, by the smallest possible change you can conceive of to whatever change you can conceive of. Reality changes by the smallest possible change you can conceive to the biggest, to whatever you can conceive reality being. It doesn't matter. That unfolding is your higher self controlling it. That's why I said you are not the writer of the unfolding, you are the writer of the ending, because you don't know how it's supposed to go. Right? And you are always shifting. So no matter how similar blocks of reality may seem, you are shifting into them because they are fundamentally different from each other. They are unique from each other. They are separated from each other, but they're not separate because they all come from one beingness, and that beingness is actually you. Right? So let's say you wanted to have an experience, and I'm just going to call the end this end here, right? My name. That. Now, in order for this to unfold, I just have to see this. Okay? And now in reality, it's actually not expressed out linearly like that. It's actually closer to something like this, a block. Just one solid, one infinite, non-local, 0 point awareness of infinity. It just condensed into everything. Now, if it was condensed into everything, can you read my name like this? No. But you know what it is. You know this says RHYNS. You know it says that. In your imagination, we can all see the block expanded. Right? In your imagination, you can all see the block expanded. You just choose the end of what you want to see. You want to see RHYS literally expressed in reality, and then your higher self does that. Your higher self shows you this by rearranging the blocks of reality so you can experience it. But here's the thing. We all instantly understand that just exists. Right? It just exists. We don't have to worry about, oh, I just saw the R, is the H gonna come? Okay, I saw the H, is the Y gonna come? Oh no, I saw the S, but that's not what I wanted to see. Now the rest of it's gone. You see how we tell a different story from different points of view. It's like, oh, I saw Y and S, or maybe that's a sign. Right? Here we go. Right? Signs about reality. And yes, it actually is though, but it is a sign in the sense that no, I'm in my desired reality because you say so. Or what if I saw like something like this? It's spelled wrong, and now we're gonna have this whole idea of no, I'm doing it wrong. You see how we come up with rubbish? We come up with alternate stories as to why things are happening. But it doesn't matter because none of those stories, none of those moments, none of the doubt that created those things, none of the fear that created those things You don't even have to fix those things. You don't have to get rid of the doubt. You don't have to get rid of the fear. You can just leave it there because it doesn't change the mere fact that this always exists. That's it. Right? This literally just always exists. And you say, this is where I live. I don't live here. I don't live there. I live where I say I live. And where I live in my imagination, because it is here. And that is my home. Imagination is my home. Right? Because it is you. Your imagination is literally you expressed infinitely. No matter how much you don't know in your imagination, how much you don't see in your imagination, you know that it is there. You know that if you say, I am standing on the top of the Eiffel Tower looking at Paris, you know that this exists. You know you can be standing there. Sometimes, I know Never Goddard says, when you feel the railing and you feel the wind in your hair and this stuff, you have a better sense of, no, this is who I have embodied to be. You don't need to do any of that. You just have to know in your imagination this exists. And when you are aware of it, you know that it exists. You say, no, that's who I am. I expect that to be unfolding, but we kind of need, sometimes, we prefer having like a little bit of a trigger to say, I triggered it. Some feeling, I triggered it. No, you don't. You just need the intention. That's who I say I am. That's what's unfolding for me. And whenever you tell an alternate story that I am not that, that's when you start to go in other directions. But this doesn't need me to get here. It doesn't need me to unfold that. It really doesn't need me to do that. It only needs me to choose what I want to see. And if I want to see that, that's it. My higher self unfolds it. I don't need to know how to get here. I just only need to know that I am here. That's all. Right? Reality is not broken. I don't need to fix the version of me that thinks this is bad, or I am doing it wrong, or I am getting the opposite of what I want. Right? That. I don't need to do any of that. Because the version of me that thinks that opposite is who I am, or thinks the broken version is who I am, that thinks that I'm going to fear getting this, or that over and over again, that stays where it is. It doesn't matter. They're there and they exist forever. I need them to actually be one with me, because that is how Source is everything, because it is just everything. Right? That is me knowing, yes, that just exists. I am who I say I am. That's it. End of story. Is done. The world does not actually exist without my awareness of it. Right? If you were to stop, like if you just froze reality right now, if you froze your seeing right now, reality would stop. And it is because reality stopped. Because you are reality. So if you froze yourself, you would be freezing reality itself. If you died, your viewpoint of reality stops. We think, no, but reality goes on. Yes, from other people's point of views where you physically are not present for experiencing reality. You physically aren't present, and that's how reality keeps going. But your specific viewpoint that is literally infinite stops. That's how important your viewpoint actually is to God. It's a part of infinity. Without your viewpoint, God could not be what it is. Right? You have no control over how this happens. You only have control that this already happened and to know it as your experience. That's it. That's all. That's literally it. There's nothing you have to do. Just know that that's what I choose to be, do, and have, and see as my experience, because I can be, do, and have it, and see it in my imagination, in my knowingness, so it must already exist. Knowing that it exists simultaneously with every variation it could possibly be, upside down, rearranged, right side up, and in the way that I simply desire it to be, which is that. Right? So, again, just so you know this, the impossibility of reality is only our three-dimensional inability to tell a story that makes sense. When you tell a new story, I am that, the impossible becomes possible, because you stop trying to tell the story as the writer, know that you are one with the writer, and that you are just the part that chooses the end. That's all. That's it. Choose your end. I am who I say I am. I am your host, Reese. This is Reality. Thank you all for being here. And there is a Facebook group available. It's growing quite wonderfully, actually. TikTok page also growing. You can check that out. I think it's in the info box. Feel free to email me any questions and things about desire, or questions about the videos, or requests, anything like that. Go for it. Thank you for the comments, liking, sharing, subscribing. Much love to you all. Infinite love, infinite light, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.